Hi guys, so today we're going to do a practice into our hips and legs. We're going to focus on lizard pose. It's a really great one for those areas. We're going to start, so you are going to need a mat today or something to cover the floor. It's going to be all floor based, so grab that quickly if you need it. And we're going to start on hands and knees. I'm going to come into child's pose straight away. So if you can, touch the toes together, take the knees about mat width and take your hips towards your heels. Don't worry if they don't go all the way there. And walk your hands out in front of you and let your head rest on the floor. If the head doesn't quite meet the floor, grab a cushion or a block to pop your head on. And take a long breath in and a long breath out. Maybe letting your hips sway side to side. You could walk the fingertips forwards a little bit more. And then come back up to hands and knees. You can keep the knees a bit wide, but maybe bring them in a little bit. Shoulders over wrist to start, fingers spread nice and wide. And then start to take some circles with your hips, and these can be as big and dynamic as feels okay for you. I find it helps to close my eyes if I feel a bit silly, especially if there's anyone else in the house, room. And take those circles in the other direction. And then come back up to hands and knees. Bring the knees back to hip width distance apart. And take your right foot back behind you and just stretch out the leg and the foot for a moment. Then bring the knee back down, take the left foot out back behind you and have a little explore of that leg and foot. Rocking circles. Okay, I'm going to walk the hands forwards. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up into downward facing dog and pedal out your feet. Spread your fingers nice and wide and make sure that your feet are hip width distance apart. Bending one knee and then the other, give your head a little shake. And then you might be able to step the right foot forwards from here, or you could drop the knees to step it forwards. So stepping the right foot between the hands, you can help the foot through with your right hand. So you want the right knee over the right ankle and drop the back knee down. Release your back toes and climb your hands up onto the right thigh. So again, want to make sure that the front knee is over your front ankle. So we're in a low lunge and Janayasana. And just take your hands to your hips and imagine your hips are a bowl, tilt them forward and back, forwards and back. And just find a position where there's space in your lower back, and usually that's the pelvis tipped back a little bit, the tailbone is sort of lengthening towards the ground. And then see how it feels to drop into the hips a little bit more. Reach your arms up overhead, shoulders soft, and take a couple of lovely long breaths here. And then I'm going to walk the right foot out to the edge of your mat or imaginary mat and bring your hands down to the inside edge of your front foot. You can grab that cushion to put your hands on, or if you've got a block or a makeshift block, pop your hands on it. Or you can be on fingertips. And just see how it feels to move the hips around in this position. Side to side, you could do circles, maybe straighten the front leg and we bend it, so this is our lizard pose. You could even, if you want a little bit more energy, a bit more power, you could lift the back knee, tucking the toes. Just having a play around in this position. And then I'd like you to keep your left hand on the floor or on a block or a makeshift book, can, and reach your right hand up for a lizard twist. So make sure your shoulders are away from your ear and you're pressing into that bottom hand and reaching up. Breathing here. Looking up towards the hand if that feels okay. You might try reaching back a little bit, forwards, moving around if that feels good. And then bring the right hand back to the inside edge of the front foot. And then step back to hands and knees. And come back into down dog. Hands shoulder width distance apart, fingers spread wide. And you can keep pedaling out the knees. You're going to step the left foot forwards this time, so you can drop the knees down to bring the foot forwards. You can help it with your left hand if it needs it. Drop the back knee down, release the toes and climb the hands up onto the left thigh. And so again, maybe just play with where the hips are, tipping them forwards and back, and finding a position where there's some space for your lower back. Tummy might just slightly draw in and drop the hips as much as feels okay. Front knees over the front ankle. And then reach the arms up for a couple of breaths, shoulders soft. I'm going to walk the left foot out to the edge of the mat or imaginary mat and bring the hands down to the inside of the front foot. Either pop the hands on block or come up onto fingertips if that's can be quite a lot. And then move into your hips, little circles, sways. It might be that actually today you just want stillness. Lift the heart on the inhale and hips back. Straighten your front leg as you exhale. Maybe just have a play. great stretch for runners. And then keep the right hand or fingertips down. You can pop your hand on a block or a makeshift block and reach your left hand up. Shoulders away from the ears and press away. Reach up, breathe. Nice big breaths. Maybe start to play with that upper arm. And then bring the hands down and come back to hands and knees. Take the knees wide and come back to child's pose. Hips to heels. And see how it feels to sway your hips a little bit from side to side. Walk your hands back towards your knees and come up to standing on your shins, knees hip width distance apart. Tiny little back bend here, go nice and gentle if the lower back's sore. Little camel pose, hands support your lower back and lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Even this might be just great for you today. Opening the chest, but if it feels okay, lengthen through the spine and then push the hips forwards a little bit, tip back. You can either let the chin stay tucked into the chest or let the head drop back if that feels okay with the neck. And then come all the way back up. And find your way onto your bottom. And come to lay down on your back. Feet stepped onto the floor. Hands out at shoulder height or a little cactus arms. Take a deep breath in. Slowly breathe out as you let your knees fall to the right, look left. Knees to center, breathe in, look up. Exhale, knees left, look right. Inhale, knees center, look up. Exhale, knees right, look left. Inhale, knees center, look up. Exhale, knees left, look right. Inhale, knees center, look up, and then hug your knees into your chest, either holding onto the thighs, the knees, or the shins, and take a little rock side to side. And then coming to Shavasana, our little relaxing pose. You could step the feet onto the floor and let the knees knock together if that feels better on your back. Hands down by your side. Feet hip width distance apart. Just noticing how your body feels now. Letting go of any harsh judgments especially. Come back to the direct sensation of your body. Breathing here for as long as you want to. You could switch this off and stay here for 5-10 minutes. Or having a big stretch. Drawing your knees in. rolling onto one side, and then pushing yourself up to a seat, and carrying on with the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.